Wow, man. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have returned. Thank you for tuning in. What is going on? Well, I'm up early. I had some shocks. Last night. I mean, people that know me know that my wife has a bit of a hot temper. Oh my goodness. But I wish people would write her a letter and say, darling, if you would just listen to your doctors. She's got some health conditions and stuff, and won't get them treated, and she won't take the doctor's advice about her diet, her dietary changes and stuff, and she's suffering. She's, to be she's about mid-30s or whatever like that, and just very exhausted all the time. But she get tired and leave food out, like meat, overnight, and if I throw it away, of course she would get very upset. So those that have been following know that my daughter got food poisoning from this Publix chicken. A guy was telling me, you need to get down there to Publix now. I mean, if you Google Publix rotisserie chicken food poisoning, it like comes up. It's a thing. And the story of this is it goes way back. She likes to get that rotisserie chicken, and like a number of years ago, Brian and Ditas, somebody that went to her church or whatever, heard that she was getting that, and they were like, that stuff, we got the worst food poisoning from that. We were so sick and stuff. And, she was wanting it anyway. And I was like trying to get her to not eat it. But she's very stubborn about certain, and then she was very angry one time when I said we need to not get that. We can make it ourselves. We could get a nice chicken, and she's like, but it's special and it's on the rotisserie. So I went and I don't know, I think it was something like a $300 rotisserie. I bought it. And I'm like, okay, well, let's not get it. And I got you a rotisserie, so when you want it, let's make it. But then she didn't want to make it. So it went a while, and finally, when she wanted to get that rotisserie chicken again, I was like, come on, let's go ahead and make it. Where is the spike, rotisserie thing? And she was like, it's been thrown away. You threw it away. You threw it away. Oh. And I said, well, what is it? I thought it was right here. And I was looking at it. She's like, no, that's not it. It doesn't fit. Must be some other one, And so I went and I ordered one. Bought another one. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, hold on a second. Let me get my music going. Well, I don't want to be all chicken up in here. All right. So anyway, I ordered one. She said, this don't fit either. Well, I didn't look at it, but it actually, they were all the same. You know, I don't know what she was doing. Maybe she couldn't figure out how to work it or didn't have the instructions. Oops. No, I don't need to be just killed like that. Ooh, why they all the way back here? But oh, can you believe the nerve of some people? And you know, I just wish they would have that central control point captured, so when I bring in Fat Albert, you know, he can drop down right on the day behind. So I mean, it's been a big saga about this rotisserie chicken, right? But she's dreaming of it, so she got it this. Well, you know, I had to order another spike for the rotisserie, you know, and then it still didn't work. And you know, it's like I was thinking, well, what? I don't know what she's even doing. Maybe she just don't. She just, if I can't get it the way I want it, then I'm gonna say something's wrong. That's your fault. Okay, Dan. This 10-second reload is rough. But I do like that instant death with the overdraft. Call it overdraft. No, stop with the dang minigun. I hate you. Thunderheart. He's scared and stuff. He's coming around. Alright, Thunderheart. What you doing back here? Oh, I don't like you. Yeah, buddy. All right, we won. Yippee. Let me get that. So, let me stay in this team. Come on. I gotta compress it all to get, you know, it's like first she want to get the rotisserie, and then Brian said it was poisonous, and then she wanted to get the rotisserie, and I bought her a rotisserie. And then she wanted to get the rotisserie and said I lost the spike thing for the rotisserie and threw it away. Then I ordered a replacement spike, and she said it's the wrong one. I checked it was not the wrong one. It does fit. Then she wanted to get the rotisserie, and she got it. Alright, so she got the rotisserie, and then she left it on. She was so tired, she left it on the dang stove all night, and I said, boy, I want to throw this away, but I had better not, because she will have my hide. So I put it in the fridge, and then the next opportunity I said, well, then it sat up in there for a few days. Oh, Lord. It's a trip, man. Married bliss, that's what it is. Why y'all gotta be shooting me with all this stuff this early in the morning, man? Ain't y'all got something better to do? Y'all just a bunch of programmatic, aristocratic vagabonds, bad vugums. That's what you are. A picture of red hot juice. Picture of red garnet juice. What is this man talking about? No, okay, so the chicken laid up in there for a couple days, and when I saw opportunity, I was like, gee, this chicken's been up in here, you know, should I throw this away? She's like, no. Oh, okay. Well, Lord. Good. Oh, I like that. And I'd like to meet you this way, friendly. Don't kill me with the sting. Shot. There we go. Oh, I love you. Thank you for dying. That was just so lucky, man, because as soon as he had unloaded on me, I would have been dead. Sure would have. So then she gave that nasty chicken to the baby, and the baby got food poisoning. And then the diarrhea splattering around got a dang urinary tract infection. And boy, she cried. It was awful. Oh, get away from me. Oh, get away. Get away, get away, get away, get away. You dirty rigible. Dang you. Hee. It's Fat Albert. I didn't even know where I even was, man, out there. Ooh, I love that. Instant, like 2 long arms or whatever. That would do the trick. Can I learn where the shift key is? I don't know if I can. No, I like that. I should have put the dang upcharge on. Really should have. Ooh. Are you back over here? No. That's the spawn point. Oh, the baby has cried. Well, you know, oh no. Oh, we won. Won again. 2 in a row. Had to go to the dang urgent care. They're like, yeah, she got an infection. Poor thing. And, so getting back to what happened last night was, you know, with her temper the way it is like, you know, I need you to feed her when she comes home what you want her to eat, because you gotta think, you know, you tell me I'm supposed to give her this and that and feed her this and that, and it seems like I can never get it right, and I'm always in the hot water behind it. So you want to feed her a particular thing, and you can, you know, or you tell me I gotta feed her something, and then it's like I cannot. Ooh, I hate you. This little MD here was trying to help the poor starving orphans, and you trying to kill me like that. I'm getting Fat Albert right now. All right. You better hope you can kill me, because I am about to blast you if I can. Oh, they got overpowered. Somebody kill that guy. Stupid minigun fool. Just empty your magazine. Go ahead. I'm gonna pop out and pop you if I can. Oh, good. He did. Man, really overpowered, man. This is so unfair. Oh well. I still got on the board. Let's see what we can get up in here. Alright, so yeah, and also it's like I've been feeding the child crackers and oatmeal all day. And she was throwing a tantrum, and I just, okay, it's been more than 48 hours. I thought all this dietary proprietary was really a 48-hour thing, you know, from the time. So it's been like 72 hours, and her poop is starting to firm up some, and you know, the situation I'm in, I'm a stay-at-home father now because of what has happened here. We had an agreement that one of us would stay home full-time with the child. And when she was staying home full-time with the child, she was not staying with the child. So the child was like totally, you know, going around the house all day, drawing on the walls and stuff. So I had to come home, be with my kid. You know, well, you got to put her in daycare. No, wait. You know, I mean, this is the thing. Look, I was molested, sexually molested, and as a child, and as a young man, and things happened to me. I was like, I did not want to have children. I was like, it's a bad world that children have to come into. So I know that, you know, oh, you have to do this, and you have to, you know, you have to face the music, and no, I don't. I'm not no slave, man. We got out from under that Pharaoh. I'm not going back. I don't want no Messiah. I don't want no king. Nobody tell me what to do. I'm not no dang slave, right? And so I'm not putting my child in daycare. But her situation, her health condition is such that, you know, she just, and also she has a thing where she's stuck on watching those, it's that short video thing where you watch like 200 short comedy videos or whatever a day or something like that. You can't do anything but that. I don't know. It's a thing. Got me 5 assists this time. That's great. Ooh, and they down there on the central control board. Da. Oh, I want you to die. Bees. Come here. Oh, I love it. Yeah, there you go. You back off and they start doing the idle thing. You know they messed up. Stupid bot. Yeah, I love it. Let's get up in there. In their nostrils. That's where we need to be. Oh, God. I've been doing this thing of like, just embracing my attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and just being my true self. I don't try to hide it. It's like when you're... Oh, that is so humiliation, right? Well, no, it's not. Okay. Dang, y'all turkeys. So annoying. Now I got... Where my shift key at? I'm really practicing hard. I hope I become a better player. Thank you. Stupid minigun fool. I'm dead. Just let me get around that corner before that timer run out. I remembered. So, man, are we gonna get... It's like a novel or something before we can get to the saga of the rotisserie. Huh. Well, my wife come home. She's got this job. She got a job where she sit on the phone or answer the phone, so she can steady watch her little videos all day, right, on the smartphone or whatever. So it's kind of, it fits for her, and that's a better situation for us because she's able to contribute more. Whereas before, man, I couldn't get her to do nothing. Well, I mean, you could, but it took so much effort and it was not worth it. And it's hard in America these days if you got a spouse that can't do anything, and a child. But ooh, I don't like y'all up here like this. Get back. Oh, I'm dying. Killed by bot. Can we have like one control point for God's sake? What are y'all doing? And I'm up in here with bots. What are y'all doing? Have a bot break? Donut break? Almighty. All I can do is back up. That 10-second reload, man, I gotta do something about that. I need some kind of implants. Yeah, y'all just stay down there and be very bot-esque. Man, I cannot get out of this thing. Help. Sandal maker. Ooh, I love it when I have another mean-ass robot in my repertoire. Where are they coming? Double KO. I knew I got it. I was waiting for that. Sandal maker. And this thing control point one. Oh, I would like to get you. Why are you way down there? I need to talk to you, boy. Down on the spawn point. Yeah, all right. So last night she got home, she wasn't cooking nothing, man. And you know, I know how it is because when we first got married, yeah, I would get home I would eat at the gas station because I would know she ain't gonna make nothing. She gonna wait like several hours and then say, "What do you want to eat?" when she gets hungry. Right? So I just, you know, I can see that she's got a health problem and just so exhausted-pated that she can't barely function. She need to change her diet and exercise and listen to the doctor and get some treatments for her knee and her back. And stop eating meat, really, as a woman. You know, she all her teeth, I mean, she got dentures, man. So all her teeth have dropped out. Oh, I like you being on my team, child. With that business. Yeah, that's, oh, yeah. Love it. Look out. What these turkeys doing way to hay back up here? So I'm looking at the map. Hey. That took care of that situation. Fire. Fire. There you go. Nice overcharge. So the baby's, well, I'm just like, I want to get in bed when it's time. If I'm getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning to do the stream, I do my stream. Ouch. I'm exposed. That's an awful arc torrent. It's Marmot. I can't believe they completely got way up behind us. How in the world? I'm dead. Oh well. Being stupid. But the baby sneaked and got some cheese. And man, I heard a screaming. It's like, that kid is like hungry, right? And you're gonna come try and take the cheese away from her? She was screaming, man, don't take no fucking cheese. I was like, do we have to go to this level? And I said, look dear, and she's like, she got into it with her. She had eaten a cookie. I was like, dear, you need to go around the whole house and throw everything in the garbage. Why do you buy stuff that people are not allowed to eat and it's sitting there? It's just a recipe. And then I want to look in her bag, and she's got she got 4 or 5 cookies in her own bag, making the baby, trying to persecute her and stuff. And also, it's been 72 hours and the poop is starting to firm up. And so in the middle of all this screaming and stuff like that, well, no, that, what happened is wish I had some more power on this guy. One of these days, I'm gonna get you more powerful. Good, but that's decent power, I think. All right. It's like, I read I Google it, I don't know. I'm not, she's like, you're saying you're smarter than everybody. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying I'm when I Google it, how, it's like, a baby, if they screaming or whatever, I was like, can you go make something? I would make something for her, but I can't take it, It's like, I've been feeding her oatmeal all day. um, and crackers and bread and water and apple juice and Yakult and still giving the antibiotics and stuff. Hey, shoot it. Man, you ain't got no grenades, man. You wasting my overcharge. But she wanna have a showdown with the baby and take the cheese away from her before she even gets up, and then she's already been home for an hour. You know, and the baby's hungry. She went in the refrigerator herself and got a piece of cheese, and was eating it, string cheese. And I had looked online. It's like, you know, and I'm like this, being an abuse and a molestation victim. Everything's a negotiation. And a lot of, you know, I understand it's maddening for some people. They're like, man, I go upside that kid's head. I'm the authority here. I'm the be all end all. And I'm like, no, I want to teach my kid what's in it for me, right? It's like a negotiation thing. And I know people don't like it. And I know that it can lead to trouble and so on. I know that. But it's just where I come from and where my head is at. You know, I teach my kid how to open and close locks and how to run and hide. And I showed her the green jelly, Three Little Pigs. Little pig, let me. And not by the hair of my chin. Her mom was so mad. She's like showing her the Three Little Pigs version, where it's the conservatives and the liberal pigs. The liberal pigs are they're just laying around and lazy, right? And the conservative pigs work hard. You know, the conservative pig built his house out of bricks and stuff. It's not about, you know, the big bad wolf, right? Which is what the story is really supposed to be about, is how to cope with a big bad wolf. How to cope and not to cope with a big bad wolf. And the green jelly version of that is really ideal. You know, if you haven't seen it, you should see it. Will you take some damage, Cincinnati Ed, you stupid bot? Get out of my face. Can somebody kill that guy? Oh, my goodness, that was a close call. Oh no, I'm dead. Help, no. Hey. Man, how come all these robots up here? Good, that's what I like to see. Bad shot. Ooh, why they all the way up here? Man, I'm tired of this. The trauma. So I wanted to negotiate. I was like, baby, get her something delicious to eat and trade it for the cheese. Because, man, that kid was hanging on to that cheese screaming bloody murder. And I'd teach her to be like that, And so my wife turned around, walk out of the room. I thought she was going to throw her phone. She was like getting ready to throw that phone. She goes into the bath. We have some of these like bath stools or whatever. It's like two little chairs for when you're sitting down in the bathtub, washing, whatever. It's kind of good for kids, kind of thing. She threw it. She grabbed chairs and threw them. I called my brother. I was like, hey, Ken, I'm sorry, can we just talk? And this is the thing. It's like when she's losing or whatever, if I can get somebody on the phone, like if you would give me your number where I can call you, because it's a premenstrual dysphoric kind of issue. So I follow her upstairs, and I'm like, can we get something to trade with her? Can you make something? Why haven't you made something? Well, dear, I haven't made something because I don't want to get my ass chewed out by you, because you're always chewing people out. And also, this is what my wife really does not understand, is I am much older than her. And I think about, am I going to be gone and it's just going to be her? And I want her to have a good relationship with her daughter. Our mother really struggled. She really struggled. And there was a lot of good things about our mother, but we were estranged from her because she used too much violence. I didn't talk to my mom for 18 years. I was out of the house at 15 on my own. Oops. And it was poverty and the injustice and stuff that resulted in that kind of thing. But it's still sad, and I try to get my wife to understand, a child is not your property, and that's a real human being. You got to have Um, boundaries and oh, there we go. I wanted to get you. You know I did. Oh man. I'm about to be out of this one, man. It's the worst one yet this morning. You give me a control point over here. Ain't nobody back here. So she took great umbrage that I interfere with her trying to take the baby's food away. And I'm not trying to second guess you, darling. I'm talking about your relationship with your child, right? You don't want to go to the mat with her every single day, because she's just gonna want to get away from you. Yeah. So I think about, when I do things like that, I'm like, let's see if we can be nice and do something calm and reach some, and acknowledge, hey, I should have got home and made something. She should not expect, if I've been feeding my daughter all day and working on the business. We have a home business, which my wife has really done devastating harm to by her conduct. Ain't doing nothing. Oh, thank you. Beautiful. Shartax. Oh man. Just getting to like you, Chartax. Whatever your name is. This does not look good. Oh no. I wish you would cough and go. That 10-second reload, man, that is rough. Help. Did I get a double KO? No, I thought I hit you, turkey. So I got my brother on the phone, right? And I got upstairs, and she's just asking, she's just acting really, really strange. Can I help you? How may I help you? No. Right, just like she don't want to reveal that she's tripping with my brother on the phone, which is good. This is the thing where people get the idea that nobody knows what they're doing or can see what they are doing. And if they get the idea that somehow people know what's going on, then they start cleaning up their behavior. But it comes out, that she says, she's saying that what I am doing by my conduct is to try to get me out of here, man. I'm trying to get out. She says that I'm trying to say I'm smarter than her, or I know everything. It's like, man, I know I do not know everything. I don't know what to feed her. Let's go Google it, right? That's what I do, I know a lot of things, I can do differential and integral calculus, but boy, if I got me a big old pile of deathmatch tickets, that's what I want. I do. Can't believe my CPL is done. Gone. Lord, I just ground through an hour. But I'm not trying to say I'm smart or whatever. It's like got two more things. No, that's not gonna happen today. 3,000 acorns, man. I need to upgrade my MD. And it's like talking about health problems. If you feel bad, if your teeth are falling out, you get on a book and read about the health of my teeth. What are my dietary proprietary behind it? To find out what you better be eating, what you not better be eating. And I went through. I am a little bit older than her, and both me and my mother went through the thing of realizing that the food around us in society is garbage, and if you eat it, you're gonna get sick. Like gas station food and stuff, it's gonna kill you. McDonald's. Oh, wait a second. Oh, and also, dude, can't you see that my ID? I'm gonna give you my ID. Hold on. But it's a bad time right now because my CPL is 0, and I'm about to drop into, and I'm real sidetracked because my wife was upset last night, and got the baby really crying. I was trying to go to sleep, and had to intervene. Couldn't even get the baby to take the medicine. Shoot. Ooh. Had to do even that. But my brother, my brother's on the phone, and I said, well, this is what happened. Uh, the baby was hungry, and she sneaked in the refrigerator and got a piece of cheese. And I was saying, we need to give her, if we can't just go to her and rip the food out of her hand, right? Because she's hungry, We need to get something to her. I couldn't get my wife to say, I'm like, look, dear, all I want you to do is tell me what I can give her, and I will give it to her now, and I will try to negotiate her not to eat the cheese. And my brother's like, what's the problem with the cheese? And it's like, what is the problem with the cheese again? It's like, it's supposed to be the brat diet after recovering from food poisoning. Bread, rice, something and something, toast, cracker, I don't know. But, I was like, let me go Google it or something. It's like right when in the 48, I think what it says is in the 48 hours, you're supposed to stay away from dairy. But my wife was stuck on stay away from dairy until her whole medicine cycle is done. So she didn't want her to have the cheese. And I'm just so worn out dealing with all, the wreckage of our business. And don't let me forget my buddy here. Hey, let me go and search you Param, and I'll play a match with you, but I have got to go to my free for all death match here and get off of this thing unless I can level up. All right, but my guy, anybody on my stream, my dang ID numbers, I have 2 accounts, and this is the weaker account. This is my daughter's account, and it's something like 49 million, and I think my other account is like 47 million. Ooh, you've been around for a long time. I remember you. I thought I added you yesterday. Man, I'm very honored that you would want to play some matches with me. I hope you just don't want to just kill me with your $5 million self. The 5 million level. Because, man, I'm like close to 50 million, man. It's like, I'm like 1/10 of your behind. Let's see, where is it? Is he on there yet? Man, I gotta clean out this front. Am I? Oh, it's 3 a.m. But I'm gonna try to get more of my Shartax. Tenacious BT. That's so naughty. Wreck a lot. I like that. Alright. Wreck a lot. Lancelot. Wreck a lot. Param, have you added me? Because I don't see you. Invitations. Outgoing. I sent you an invite. Param. I don't know what the dang thing. I did have this thing where it would show me the time signature. But yeah, my IDs come up there. Let's see. I'm gonna wait till they come up. I'm waiting for you, Soul Killer. Just for you. Where are my dang Macarena IDs? They do come up. So I'm not saying all these things to my wife. I wish she could realize that. Like I know it all or something. I don't. I want to know more about medicine and healthcare and stuff like that. I got to go in there and fix that because I'm watching it and I'm seeing it's not coming up. It's on random or something. Oh, brother. All right, so I'm gone, buddy. Next time. Five free-for-all deathmatch tickets and I'm out of here. Gotta power through it, man. Gotta power through it. Oh, man. Oh, no. Somebody keep him back. Keep him back. Oh. Dang you. Made me spoil my thing. Oh. Trying to stay on top of things. Oh no. Here comes this turkey. Sorry about the wind. There's a story behind that. The air conditioning. Need some refrigerant, man. It had not been recharged in 2 years. I'm moving the aquariums. I've got 2 aquariums in my room and then my office room here. Somebody coming. And he got a dang revenge badge he trying to get. Oh, Billy. Come on, Billy. Billy. You know I love you. Alright. That's what I like. So finally she get to say, well, she can have Yakult, she can have bread. I said, okay, let me get the that and go downstairs right now and try to get her to give up the cheese, right? See, if we had done that in the very beginning, right, or if she had food given to her immediately when mom gets home. We wouldn't have gotten in that situation. But I got to her, and I had my brother on the phone, and we were trying to diffuse the situation, and my daughter grabbed the bread and she took the cheese and she wrapped it up in the bread, right? Made a sandwich out of it. She's like, delicious is what she said. Oh yeah. And, I talked to my brother for a minute there to kind of make sure that my wife wasn't going to go ballistic in front of the baby again. And then we hung up the phone, and the phone rang, and it was the doctor. Hey, this is the doctor over at the urgent care calling about your daughter. And I said, well, she's thus and so and thus and so. And she's like, yeah, that's good. I said, well, her poop is not diarrhea anymore, right? But it's still loose, it's not turds, it's still loose stool, and it's dark brown. And the doctor said, the antibiotics can actually cause that sometimes. So what you can do is give her a probiotic. Well, my wife had said you can't have a probiotic either. Don't give her probiotics. So here, I was like, would you like to talk to the doctor? No. She don't want to talk to the doctor. I'm like, okay. Dear. My goodness. I don't even have these robots. I'm looking at this. I don't have all that. The baby got her dang cheese, man. She wasn't about to give up that cheese. Well, there you go. You know what you got. There's some, you know, you try to force change on other people, and that's tough, man. Turkey goes around the corner and hits people in the cover. Hate you. Well, no, I don't hate you. Can't even kill him. Completely unload the magazine. That's alright. A minigun. I'm trying to burn through these. A minute, 31 seconds. Oh, sniper, what happened to you? Pay to win. You see. Here comes this fool. Turkey, that's all I got to say for you. That's all right. Oh, I should have left that. Not go back up in there. Oh, I can leave. All right, so. So, after the conversation with the doctor, I said on the phone, I said, well, we were very concerned that she got to the refrigerator and got a piece of cheese. And the doctor's like, what? Well, can she eat cheese? She holding it down. Yeah, she can eat it. No problem. I'm like, well, okay then. So we just had this big old knock down, drag out. Well, I mean, she was knocking down and dragging out. We was hiding. Oh, Lord. Cannot believe she picked up those bathroom chairs and the baby's ball was in there. and threw him. Wow. Because I would, because I intervened and said, get her some food. And I'm not trying to say that I know what to do. It's like she was throwing a tantrum, right? And that's not the time to escalate it. I mean, I don't know. I just Googled it and it said, if they're throwing a tantrum, try to distract them, right? And then they will cool down. What better way to distract them than to give them some delicious food to eat? Please get something together. Ooh, see. What I need to do, I've got my class from 3 to 4, and I need to prepare dinner from the baby, maybe between 5 and 6, so my wife can just come home and lay down. Thank you, buddy. That's nice of you. Oh no, I do not want this right now. Ding 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 ding. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Floodgate. That sucks. Or does Bree? Who is that? No. Yeah. Much better. Okay. That was a bit hairy there. Alright. Sorry about the fan noise, but no help for it. Turkey. I remember to hit the button. Clear my CPL. I gotta get to 5,000. It's not gonna happen. Brain dead. What's on? Oh. I ain't got that photon, proton, bososticon. You got? Almost. Tell me I only got 3. Love to go out like a wet donkey fart. That's what I love. It's on. It's on. This guy's getting me every time. I'm not. I should be looking for him. There he is. $23 squad dropper. Oh, I still have another ticket? Wow. I should have been looking for that guy more. It would have been beneficial to everybody at hand. But it was all bots, I think, but that one guy, maybe, I'm not sure. I should hit that thing. I remember. I need a break. Here you go. Caesar, is it? Here I come again. Oh no. I'm dead. Maybe not. He's like, I'm gonna get that guy. Alright, here comes Fat Albert. Oops. Not much I could do. I don't guess. Somebody tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Come on, Cubsy. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, Cuzzy. Come in, Cuzzy. Oh. Turkey. I saw him. Turkey? I was gonna go get Cesar again. He's my favorite little bot this morning. Can we meet? Almost. Okay, out. Now, let's see. I'm trying to get it together, folks. Please bear with me. All right, I gotta take a break here for a second. Back soon. I gotta go take a picture of this stove set with a pot of chicken and then lamp with a styrofoam plate over the top of it. Sorry about that. Glade. Meet Nomad, the latest legendary scout bag to roll onto the arena. Oh, he's kind of big ball. With decent energy capacity and high speed, Nomad is versatile and maneuverable. Like Slingshot and Killshot, it charges forward when its ability is activated, dealing damage to any mech unfortunate enough to stand in its way. Unlike its scrappy siblings, it doesn't deal AoE smash damage. So it only damages mechs it actually hits, yeah. Alright. It has a different trick up its sleeve, though. If it hits a mech, it has a short window in which it can perform a second dash, either to hit another mech or to make a swift exit. However, you can't damage the same mech with the first and second parts of the Nomad's chain dash, so you'll need good awareness and forward planning to make the most of it. Luckily, after using chain dash, Nomad also has a short period of time where it takes reduced damage. With corresponding pilot implants, you can boost Nomad's chain dash damage and distance, and even increase the precious time it has to make a second dash. Get fast and furious with Nomad and let us know what you think. Stay tuned for more announcements and updates. See you in the arena. Alright. Oh. Wow. Wow. Glade. $2,700 left. Ah, that's a good way to start off. Hey, Mike. Did you just send that just now? Man. My daughter had food poisoning. That's what's up. My wife is real sloppy with the, old chicken. I cannot believe I went up there on a stove. She left chicken on the stove overnight with a styrofoam plate over the pot. I took a picture of it. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. If you say, man, don't leave chicken on the stove overnight, you're saying that I'm a bad mother. That's what you said there, not what I said. Room for improvement. How about that? She's better now though. But there was a big, it's been, I think it's something like you get an infection or whatever. She got a UTI from the diarrhea of eating the spoiled chicken, and then but she's been on antibiotics for several days. She's getting a lot better. And Mom didn't get anything for her to eat, and she went to the fridge on her own and got a piece of cheese. Next thing I hear screaming, she's trying to take the baby's cheese away from her. Man, that's not. There's no going back, but I mean, she's already got the cheese. You bet, And I'm just trying to help my wife to understand. You go around taking food out of people's hand, they're gonna want to get away from you. And I'm much older than my wife, and I want her to have a good relationship with her daughter. In the event that I'm gone, but I don't know. 18 free-for-all deathmatch seconds. God almighty. I really need to fix this right now. Hold on, I need to get on this PayPal thing and fix it. It's messed up. PayPal 001. It's in my images folder. Please bear with me. No slacker. Okay, I think that's fixed. Ooh, that's some cool people. He ain't even online. Child. Rockets. All right. Oh. I tried. Stole my vampire coins. Scuba Steve, who's that? Screwed up. I had EMP. I should have used it. Oh, you want to get your revenge coin? Not today. Oh. Dare toys. Oh, Scuba Steve, you jerk. Squad drop. No. Well, Missile Rack 8. I can't withstand that, yeah. Ooh, how long? So I have to wait. Dun, 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 dun. Hey man, do you mind? Double kill. What happened? Where is she? There's that turkey with the miniguns. He's got miniguns coming out his eyeballs. This match is gone. Dude. Look at this guy. Unbelievable. Sengoku.
Stupid bot.
Again? Nope. Killed by a bot. I remembered I hit the button. Where is my dang chat box on the... Bad aim just then. Ouch. Dang you! Should hit shift. Had run. Turkey.
Of each people. It is the intensity of the instinct of revolt, and by the same token, of liberty, with which it is endowed or which is most concerned. This instinct is a fact which is completely primordial and animal. One finds it in different degrees in every living being, and the energy, the vital power of each is to be measured by its intensity. In man, besides the economic needs which urge him on, this instinct becomes the most powerful agent of all human emancipations. And as it is a matter of temperament, not of intellectual and moral culture, although ordinarily it evokes one and the other, it sometimes happens that civilized peoples possess it only in a feeble degree, whether it is that it has been exhausted during their previous development, or whether the very nature of their civilization has degraded them, or whether, finally, they were originally less endowed with it than were others. Such has been in all its past, such is still today the Germany of the nobles and the bourgeoisie. The German proletariat, a victim for centuries of one and the other, can it be made jointly responsible for the spirit of conquest which manifests itself today in the upper classes of this nation? In actual fact, undoubtedly, no. For a conquering people is necessarily a slave people, and the slaves are always the proletariat. Conquest is therefore completely opposed to their interests and liberty. but they are jointly responsible for it in spirit, and they will remain jointly responsible as long as they do not understand that this pan-German state, this Republican and so-called People's State, which is promised them in a more or less near future, would be nothing else, if it could ever be realized, than a new form of very hard slavery for the proletariat. Up to the present, at least, they do not seem to have understood it, and none of their chiefs, orators, or publicists has given himself the trouble to explain it to them. They are all trying, on the contrary, to inveigle the proletariat along a path where they will meet with nothing but the enemies of
Get out the way.
their own
You don't want
enslavement.
to get hit.
And, as long as, obeying the directions of these leaders, they pursue this frightful illusion of a people's state, certainly the proletariat will not have the initiative for social revolution. This revolution will come to it from outside, probably from the Mediterranean countries, and then yielding to the universal contagion, the German proletariat will unloose its passions and will overthrow at one stroke the dominion of its tyrants and of its so-called emancipators. The reasoning of Marx leads to absolutely opposite results. Taking into consideration nothing but the one economic question, he says to himself that the most advanced countries and consequently the most capable of mounting a social revolution are those in which modern capitalist production has reached its highest degree of development. It is they that, to the exclusion of all others, are the civilized countries, the only ones called on to initiate and direct this revolution. This revolution will consist in the expropriation, whether by peaceful succession or by violence, of the present property owners and capitalists, and in the appropriation of all lands and all capital by the state, which in order to fulfill its great economic as well as political mission must necessarily be very powerful and very strongly centralized. The state will administer and direct the cultivation of the land by means of its salaried officers commanding armies of rural toilers, organized and disciplined for this cultivation. At the same time, on the ruin of all the existing banks it will establish a single bank, financing all labor and all national commerce. One can understand that, at first sight, such a simple plan of organization at least in appearance could seduce the imagination of workers more eager for justice and equality than for liberty, and foolishly fancying that these two can exist without liberty as if to gain and consolidate justice and equality, one could rely on other people, and on ruling groups above all, however much they may claim to be elected and controlled by the people. In reality it would be for the proletariat Arab regime, where the standardized mass of men and women workers would wake, sleep, work and live to the beat of a drum. For the clever and the learned a privilege of governing. And for the mercenary-minded, attracted by the immensity of the international speculations of the national banks, a vast field of lucrative jobbery. At home it will be slavery, in foreign affairs a truceless war, unless all the peoples of the inferior races, Latin or Slav, the one tired of the bourgeois civilization, the other almost ignorant of it and despising it by instinct, unless these peoples resign themselves to submit to the yoke of an essentially bourgeois nation and a state all the more despotic because it will call itself the People's State. The social revolution, as the Latin and Slav toilers picture it to themselves, desire it and hope for it, is infinitely broader than that promised them by the German or Marxian program. It is not for them a question of the emancipation parsimoniously measured out and only realizable at a very distant date, of the working class, but the complete and real emancipation of all the proletariat, not only of some countries but of all nations, civilized and uncivilized, a new civilization, genuinely of the people, being destined to commence by this act of universal emancipation. And the first word of this emancipation can be none other than liberty, not that political, bourgeois liberty, so much approved and recommended as a preliminary object of conquest by Marx and his adherents, but the great human liberty, which, destroying all the dogmatic, metaphysical, political and juridical fetters by which everybody today is loaded down, will give to everybody, collectivities as well as individuals, full autonomy in their activities and their development, delivered once and for all from all inspectors, directors and guardians. The second word of this emancipation is solidarity, not the Marxian solidarity.
Can't believe I
from the
can't
downward
kill that
class of
guy.
government or other either by ruse or by force, on the
Too
masses
easy,
of the
just
people.
go.
Not that solidarity of all which is the negation of the liberty of each, and which by that very fact becomes a falsehood, a fiction, having slavery as the reality behind it. but that solidarity which is on the contrary the confirmation and realization of every liberty.
You have ruined my whole
Not in
match.
any political
But
law
touche,
whatsoever,
boy.
But in the inherent collective nature of man.
Oh,
in
and you got
virtue
one of
which
those?
No man is free of all the men who surround him.
Let me go
and
over
who
here and mess with
exercise
this
the
guy.
least influence, direct or indirect, on his life are not so equally. This truth is to be found magnificently
Man, look at that
expressed
art
in the
torrent.
Declaration of the Rights of Man drafted by Robespierre, and which proclaimed that the slavery of the least of men is the slavery of all. This solidarity which we ask, far from being the result of any artificial or authoritarian organization whatsoever, can only be the spontaneous product of social life, economic as well as moral. The result of the free federation of common interests, aspirations and tendencies it has for essential basis, equality, collective labor becoming obligatory for each not by the force of law, but by the force of facts and collective property. As a direct
If at
result,
first you don't
experience, that is to
succeed,
say the practice of the collective
fail again.
knowledge and learning. And as a final goal, the
Until you
establishment of
succeed,
humanity,
or something
and
like that. I
consequently the
forget.
ruin of all states. There is the ideal, not divine, not metaphysical, but
Here you
human
go.
and practical,
3,
which
2,
alone
1.
corresponds to the modern aspirations of the Latin and Slav peoples. They want complete liberty, complete solidarity, complete equality. In a word, they want only humanity, and they will not be satisfied, even on the score of its being provisional and transitory, with anything less than that. The Marxians will denounce their aspirations as folly. That has been done over a long period, that has not turned them from their goal, and they will never change the magnificence of that goal for the completely bourgeois platitudes of Marxian socialism. Their ideal is practical in this sense, that its realization will be much less difficult than that of the Marxian idea, which, besides the poverty of its objective, presents also the grave inconvenience of being absolutely impracticable. It will not be the first time that clever men, rational and advocates of things practical and possible, will be recognized for utopians, and that those who are called utopians today will be recognized as practical men tomorrow. The absurdity of the Marxian system consists precisely in the hope that by inordinately narrowing down the socialist program so as to make it acceptable to the bourgeois radicals, it will transform the latter into unwitting and involuntary servants of the social revolution. There is a great error there. All the experience of history demonstrate to us that an alliance concluded between two different parties always turns to the advantage of the more reactionary of the two parties. Is alliance necessarily enfeebles the more progressive party, by diminishing and distorting its program, by destroying its moral strength, its confidence in itself, whilst a reactionary party, when it is guilty of falsehood, is always and more than ever true to itself. As for me, I do not hesitate to say that all the Marxist flirtations with the radicalism, whether reformist or revolutionary, of the bourgeois, can have no other result than the demoralization and disorganization of the rising power of the proletariat, and consequently a new consolidation of the established power of the bourgeois. The kingdom, Marxism, freedom of the state. 6. Political action and the workers. In Germany, socialism is already beginning to be a formidable power, despite restrictive and oppressive laws. The workers' parties are frankly socialist in the sense that they want a socialistic reform of the relations between capital and labor, and that they consider that to obtain this reform, the state must first of all be reformed, and that if it will not suffer itself to be reformed peaceably, it must be reformed by a political revolution. This political revolution, they maintain, must precede the social revolution, but I consider this as a fatal error, as such a revolution would necessarily be a bourgeois revolution and will produce only a bourgeois socialism, that is to say it would lead to new exploitation, more cunning and hypocritical, but not less oppressive than the present. This idea of a political revolution preceding a social revolution has opened wide the doors of the Social Democratic Party to all the radical Democrats, who are very little of socialists. And the leaders of the party have, against the instincts of the workers themselves, brought it into close association with the bourgeois Democrats of the People's Party of the Liberals, which is quite hostile to socialism, as its press and politicians demonstrate. The leaders of this People's Party, however, have observed that these anti-socialist utterances displeased the workers, and they modified their tone, for they need the workers' assistance in their political aims, just as it has always been. the method of the bourgeoisie to carry out a revolution by means of the all-powerful arm of the people and then filch the profits for themselves. Thus these popular Democrats have now become socialists of a sort. But the socialism does not go beyond the harmless dreams of bourgeois cooperativism. At a congress in Eisenach, in August 1869, there were negotiations between the representatives of the two parties, Worker and Democrat, and these resulted in a program which definitely constituted the Social Democratic Labor Party. This program is a compromise between the socialist and revolutionary program of the Internationalists determined by the Congresses of Brussels and Basel, and the program of bourgeois democracy. This new program called for a free people's state, wherein all class domination and all exploitation would be abolished. Political liberty was declared to be the most urgently needed condition for the economic emancipation of the working classes. Consequently, the social question was inseparable from the political question. Its solution was possible only in a democratic state. The party was declared to be associated with the International. Some immediate objectives were set out: manhood suffrage, referenda, free and compulsory education, separation of church and state, liberty of the press, state aid to workers' cooperatives. This program expresses not the socialist and revolutionary aspirations of the workers, but the policy of the leaders. There is a direct contradiction between the program of the International and the purely rational program set out above, between the socialist solidarity of labor and the political patriotism of the national state. Thus the Social Democrats find themselves in the position of being united with their bourgeois compatriots against the workers of a foreign country. And their patriotism has vanquished their socialism. Slaves themselves of the German government, they fulminate against the French government as tyrants. The only difference between Bismarck and Napoleon III was that the one was a successful and the other an unsuccessful scoundrel. One was a scoundrel, and the other a scoundrel and a half. The German socialists' idea of a free state is a contradiction in terms, an unrealizable dream. Socialism implying the destruction of the state, those who support the state must renounce socialism, must sacrifice the economic emancipation of the masses to the political power of some privileged party, and in this case it will be bourgeois democracy. The program of the Social Democrats really implies that they trust the bourgeois Democrats to help the workers to achieve a social revolution, after the workers have helped the bourgeois to achieve a revolution. The way they have swallowed bourgeois ideas is shown by the list of immediate objectives, which except for the last, comprise the well-known program of bourgeois democracy. And in fact these immediate objectives have become their real objectives, so that they have lent the Social Democratic Party to become a mere tool in the hands of the bourgeois Democrats. Does Marx himself sincerely want the antagonism of class against class, that antagonism which renders absolutely impossible any participation of the masses in the political action of the state? For this action, considered apart from the bourgeoisie, is not practicable. It is only possible when it develops in conjunction with some party of that class and lets itself be directed by the bourgeois. Marx cannot be ignorant of that, and besides, what is going on today in Geneva, Zurich, Basel, and all over Germany, ought to open his eyes on this point, if he had closed them, which, frankly, I do not believe. It is impossible for me to believe it after having read the speech he delivered recently at Amsterdam, in which he said that in certain countries, perhaps in Holland itself, the social question could be resolved peacefully, legally, without force, in a friendly fashion, which can mean nothing but this: it can be resolved by a series of successive, pacific, voluntary and judicious compromises between bourgeoisie and proletariat. Mazzini never said anything different from that. Mazzini and Marx are agreed on this point of capital importance, that the great social reforms which are to emancipate the proletariat cannot be realized except in a great democratic, republican, very powerful and strongly centralized state, which for the proper well-being of the people, in order to be able to give them education and social welfare, must impose on them, by means of their own vote, a very strong government. I maintain that if ever the Marxian Party, that its so-called social democracy, continues to pursue the course of political demands, it will see itself forced to condemn, sooner or later, that of economic demands, the course of strike action, so incompatible are these two courses in reality. It is always the same German temperament and the same logic which leads the Marxists directly and fatally into what we call bourgeois socialism and to the conclusion of a new political pact between the bourgeois who are radicals
Like that's
or who
gonna
are
help.
forced to become
Zombie
sexually
dragon?
intelligent, respectable, that is to say, duly virtuous-like minority of the town proletariat to the detriment of the masses of proletariat not only in the country, but in the towns also. Such is the true meaning of workers' candidatures to the parliaments of existing states, and that of the conquest of political power by the working class. For even from the point of view of only the town proletariat to whose exclusive profit it is desired to take possession of political power, is it not clear that the popular nature of this power will never be anything else than fiction? It will be obviously impossible for some hundreds of thousands or even some tens of thousands or indeed for only a few thousand men to effectively exercise this power. They will necessarily exercise it by proxy, that is to say, entrusted to a group of men elected by themselves to represent and govern them, which will cause them without fail to fall back again into all the comforts and servitudes of the representative or bourgeois regime. After a brief moment of liberty or revolutionary orgy, citizens of a new state, they will awake to find themselves slaves, playthings and victims of new power lusters. One can understand how and why clever politicians should attach themselves in a great passion to a program which opens such a wide horizon to their ambition. But that series workers, who bear in their hearts like a living flame the sentiment of solidarity with their companions in slavery and wretchedness the whole world over, and who desire to emancipate themselves not to the detriment of all but by the emancipation of all, to be free themselves with all and not to become tyrants in their turn. That considered toilers could become enamored of such a program, that is much more difficult to understand. But then, I have a firm confidence that in a few years the German workers themselves, recognizing the fatal consequences of a theory which can only favor the ambition of their bourgeois chiefs or indeed that of some exceptional workers who seek to climb on the shoulders of their comrades in order to become dominating and exploiting bourgeois in their turn, I have confidence that the German workers will reject this theory with contempt and wrath, and that they will embrace the true program of working class emancipation, that of the destruction of states, with as much passion as daring. Today the workers of the great Mediterranean countries, France, Spain, Italy, as well as the Dutch and Belgian workers. Meanwhile we recognize the perfect right of the German workers to go the way that seems to them best, provided that they allow us the same liberty. We recognize even that it is very possible that by all their history, their particular nature, the state of their civilization and their whole situation today, they are forced to go this way. Let then the German, American and English toilers try to win political power since they desire to do so. But let them allow the toilers of other countries to march with the same energy to the destruction of all political power. Liberty for all, and a natural respect for that liberty. Such are the essential conditions of international solidarity. The German Social Democratic Labour Party, founded in 1869 by Liebknecht and Bebel, under the auspices of Marx, announced in its program that the conquest of political power was the preliminary condition of the economic emancipation of the proletariat, and that consequently the immediate object of the party must be the organization of a widespread legal agitation for the winning of universal suffrage and of all other political rights. Its final aim, the establishment of a great pan-German and so-called People's State. Between this tendency and that of the Alliance for Unions organization, which rejected all political action, not having as immediate and direct objective the triumph of the workers over capitalism, and as a consequence, the abolition of the state, there exists the same difference, the same abyss, as between the proletariat and the bourgeoisie. The Alliance, taking the program of the International seriously, had rejected contemptuously all compromise with bourgeois politics, in however radical and socialistic eyes it might do itself up, advising the proletariat as the only way of real emancipation, as the only policy truly salutary for them, the exclusively negative policy of the demolition of political institutions, of political power, of government in general, of the state, and as a necessary consequence the international organization of the scattered forces of the proletariat into a revolutionary power directed against all the established powers of the bourgeoisie. The Social Democrats of Germany, quite on the contrary, advised all the workers so unfortunate as to listen to them, to adopt, as the immediate objective of their association, legal agitation for the preliminary conquest of political rights. They thus subordinate the movement for economic emancipation to the movement first of all exclusively political, and by this obvious reversal of the whole program of the International, they have filled in at a single stroke the abyss they had opened between proletariat and bourgeoisie. They have done more than that, they have tied the proletariat into with the bourgeoisie. For it is evident that all this political movement so boosted by the German socialists, since it must precede the economic revolution, can only be directed by the bourgeois, or what will be still worse, by workers transformed into bourgeois by their ambition and vanity, and, passing in reality over the head of the proletariat, like all its predecessors, this movement will not fail once more to condemn the proletariat to be nothing but a blind instrument inevitably sacrificed in the struggle of the different bourgeois parties between themselves for the conquest of political power, that is to say, for the power and right to dominate the masses and exploit them. To whomsoever doubts it, we should only have to show what is happening in Germany, where the organs of social democracy scenes of German Senior Congress, at Eisenach, of professors of bourgeois political economy recommending the proletariat of Germany to the high-end paternal protection of statesmen in the parts of Switzerland where the Marxian program prevailed, at Geneva, Zurich, Basel, where the International has descended to the point of being no longer anything more than a sort of electoral box for the profit of the radical bourgeois. These incontestable facts seem to me to be more eloquent than any words. They are real and logical in the sense that they are a natural effect of the triumph of Marxian propaganda. And it is for that reason that we fight the Marxian theories to the death, convinced that if they could triumph throughout the International, they would certainly not fail to kill at least its spirit everywhere, as they have already done in very great part in the countries just mentioned. The instinctive passion of the masses for economic equality is so great that if they could hope to receive it from the hands of despotism, they would indefatigably and without much reflection do as they have often done before, and deliver themselves to despotism. Happily, historic experience has been of some service even with the masses. Today, they are beginning everywhere to understand that no despotism has nor can have either the will or the power to give them economic equality. The program of the International is very happily explicit on this question. Emancipation of the toilers can be the work only of the toilers themselves. Is it not astonishing that Marx has believed it possible to graft on this nevertheless so precise declaration, which he probably drafted himself, his scientific socialism? That is to say, the organization and the government of the new society by socialistic scientists and professors, the worst of all despotic government. But thanks to this great beloved riffraff of the common people, who will oppose themselves, urged on by an instinct invincible as well as just, to all the governmentalist fancies of this little working-class minority already properly disciplined and marshaled to become the myrmidons of a new despotism, the scientific socialism of Marx will always remain as a Marxian dream. This new experience, more dismal perhaps than all past experiences, will be spared society, because the proletariat in general, and in all countries, is animated today by a profound distrust against what is political and against all the politicians in the world, whatever their party color, all of them having equally deceived, oppressed, exploited the reddest Republicans just as much as the most absolutist monarchists. The Paris Commune and the Idea of the State. First published in 1871, Alfred A. Knopf, New York, New York. Image. 1. This work, like all my published work, of which there has not been a great deal, is an outgrowth of events. It is a natural continuation of my letters to a Frenchman, September 1870, wherein I had the easy but painful distinction of foreseeing and foretelling the dire calamities which now beset France and the whole civilized world, the only cure for which is the social revolution. My purpose now is to prove the need for such a revolution. I shall review the historical development of society and what is now taking place in Europe, right before our eyes. Thus all those who sincerely thirst for truth can accept it and proclaim openly and unequivocally the philosophical principles and practical aims which are at the very core of what we call the social revolution. I know my self-imposed task is not a simple one. I might be called presumptuous had I any personal motives in undertaking it. Let me assure my reader, I have none. I am not a scholar or a philosopher, not even a professional writer. I have not done much writing in my life and have never written except, so to speak, in self-defense, and only when a passionate conviction forced me to overcome my instinctive dislike for any public exhibition of myself. Well, then, who am I, and what is it that prompts me to publish this work at this time? I am an impassioned seeker of the truth, and as bitter an enemy of the vicious fictions used by the established order, an order which has profited from all the religious, metaphysical, political, juridical, economic, and social infamies of all times, to brutalize it in throughout the world. I am a fanatical lover of liberty. I consider it the only environment in which human intelligence, dignity, and happiness can thrive and develop. I do not mean that formal liberty which is dispensed, measured out, and regulated by the state. For this is a perennial lie and represents nothing but the privilege of a few, based upon the servitude of the remainder. Nor do I mean that individualist, egoist, base, and trifling liberty expelled by the school of Jean de Justice so in every other school of bourgeois liberalism, which considers the rights of all, represented by the state, as a limit for the rights of each. It always, necessarily, ends upon reducing the rights of individuals to zero. No, I mean the only liberty worthy as a name, the liberty which implies the full development of all the material, intellectual, and moral capacities latent in every one of us. The liberty which knows no other restrictions but those set by the laws of our own nature. Consequently, there are, properly speaking, no restrictions, since these laws are not imposed upon us by any legislator from outside, alongside, or above ourselves. These laws are subjective, inherent in ourselves. They constitute the very basis of our being. Instead of seeking to curtail them, we should see in them the real condition and the effective cause of our liberty, that liberty of each man which does not find another manifest freedom of boundary but a confirmation and vast extension of his own. Liberty through solidarity, inequality. I mean liberty triumphant over brute force and, what has always been the real expression of such force, the principle of authority. I mean liberty which will shatter all the idols in heaven and on earth and will then build a new world of mankind in solidarity, upon the ruins of all the churches and all the states. I am a convinced advocate of economic and social equality because I know that, without it, liberty, justice, human dignity, morality, and the well-being of individuals, as well as the prosperity of nations, will never amount to more than a pack of lies. But since I stand for liberty as the primary condition of mankind, I believe that equality must be established in the world by the spontaneous organization of labor and the collective ownership of property by freely organized producers' associations, and by the equally spontaneous federation of communes to replace the domineering paternalistic state. It is at this point that a fundamental division arises between the socialists and revolutionary collectivists on the one hand and the authoritarian communists who support the absolute power of the state on the other. Their ultimate aim is identical. Both equally desire to create a new social order based first on the organization of collective labor, inevitably imposed upon each and all by the natural force of events, under conditions equal for all, and second, upon the collective ownership of the tools of production. The difference is only that the communists imagine they can attain their goal by the development and organization of the political power of the working classes, and chiefly of the proletariat of the cities, aided by bourgeois radicalism. The revolutionary socialists, on the other hand, believe they can succeed only through the development and organization of the non-political or anti-political social power of the working classes in city and country, including all men of goodwill from the upper classes who break with their past and wish openly to join them and accept their revolutionary program in full. This divergence leads to a difference in tactics. The communists believe it necessary to organize the workers' forces in order to seize the political power of the state. The revolutionary socialists organize for the purpose of destroying, or, to put it more politely, liquidating the state. The communists advocate the principle and the practices of authority. The revolutionary socialists put all their faith in liberty. Both equally favor science, which is to eliminate superstition and take the place of religious faith. The former would like to impose science by force. The latter would try to propagate it so that human groups, once convinced, would organize and federalize spontaneously, freely, from the bottom up, of their own accord and true to their own interests, never following the prearranged plan imposed upon ignorant masses by a few superior minds. The revolutionary socialists hold that there is a great deal more practical good sense and wisdom in the instinctive aspirations and real needs of the masses than in the profound intelligence of all the doctors and guides of humanity who, after so many failures, still keep on trying to make men happy. The revolutionary socialists, furthermore, believe that mankind has for too long submitted to being governed. That the cause of its troubles does not lie in any particular form of government but in the fundamental principles and the very existence of government, whatever form it may take. Finally, there is the well-known contradiction between communism as developed scientifically by the German school and accepted in part by the Americans and the English, and Proudhonism, greatly developed and taken to its ultimate conclusion by the proletariat of the Latin countries. Revolutionary socialism has just attempted its first striking and practical demonstration in the Paris Commune. I am a supporter of the Paris Commune, which for all the bloodletting it suffered at the hands of monarchical and clerical reaction, has nonetheless grown more enduring and more powerful in the hearts and minds of Europe's proletariat. I am its supporter, above all, because it was a bold, clearly formulated negation of the state. It is immensely significant that this rebellion against the state has taken place in France, which had been hitherto the land of political centralization par excellence, and that it was precisely Paris, the leader and the fountainhead of the great French civilization, which took the initiative in the Commune. Paris, casting aside her crown and enthusiastically proclaiming her own defeat in order to give life and liberty to France, to Europe, to the entire world. Paris reaffirming her historic power of leadership, showing to all the enslaved peoples, and are there any masses that are not slaves? The only road to emancipation and health. Paris inflicting a mortal blow upon the political traditions of bourgeois radicalism and giving a real basis to revolutionary socialism against the reactionaries of France and Europe. Paris shrouded in her own ruins, to give the sullen light to triumphant reaction. Saving, by her own disaster, the honor and the future of France, and proving to mankind that if life, intelligence, and moral strength have departed from the upper classes, they have been preserved in their power and promises
I wish you
in the
would cough and go.
proletariat. Paris inaugurating the new era of the definitive and complete emancipation of the masses and the real solidarity across state frontiers. Paris destroying nationalism and erecting the religion of humanity upon its ruins. Paris proclaiming herself humanitarian and atheist, and replacing divine fictions with the great realities of social life and faith in science, replacing the lies and inequities of the old morality with the principles of liberty, justice, equality, and fraternity, those eternal bases of all human morality. Paris heroic, rational and confident, confirming her strong faith in the destinies of mankind by her own glorious downfall, her death. Passing down her faith, in all its power, to the generations to come. Paris, drenched in the blood of her noblest children, this is humanity itself, crucified by the united international reaction of Europe, under the direct inspiration of all the Christian churches and that high priest of iniquity, the Pope. But the coming international revolution, expressing the solidarity of the peoples, shall be the resurrection of Paris. This is the true meaning, and these are the immense, beneficent results of 2 months which encompass the life and death of the ever-memorable Paris Commune. The Paris Commune lasted too short a time, and its internal development was too hampered by the mortal struggle it had to engage in against the Versailles reaction to allow it at least to formulate, if not apply, its socialist program theoretically. We must realize, too, that the majority of the members of the Commune were not socialists, properly speaking. If they appeared to be, it was because they were drawn in this direction by the irresistible course of events, the nature of the situation, the necessities of their position, rather than through personal conviction. The socialists were a tiny minority. There were, at most, 14 or 15 of them. The rest were Jacobins. But, let us make it clear, there are Jacobins and Jacobins. There are Jacobin lawyers and doctrinaires, like Mr. Gambetta. They're positivist, presumptuous, despotic, and legalistic republicanism had repudiated the old revolutionary faith, leaving nothing of Jacobinism but its cult of unity and authority, and delivered the people of France over to the Prussians, and later still to native-born reactionaries. And there are Jacobins who were frankly revolutionaries, the Hurons, the last and true representatives of the democratic faith of 1793. able to sacrifice both their will opportunity and authority rather than submit their conscience to the insolence of the reaction. These magnanimous Jacobins, led naturally by Deles Blues, a great soul and a great character, desired the triumph of the revolution above everything else. And since there is no revolution without the masses, and since the masses nowadays reveal an instinct for socialism and can only make an economic and social revolution, the Jacobins of good faith, letting themselves be impelled increasingly by the logic of the revolutionary movement, will end up becoming socialists in spite of themselves. This precisely was the situation in which the Jacobins who participated in the Paris Commune found themselves. Deles Blues, and many others with him, signed programs and proclamations whose general import and promise were of a positively socialist nature. However, in spite of their good faith and all their goodwill, they were merely socialists impelled by outward circumstances rather than by inward conviction. They lacked the time and even the capacity to overcome and subdue many of their own bourgeois prejudices
Very
that were contrary
satisfying.
to their newly acquired socialism. One can understand that, trapped in this internal struggle, they could never go beyond generalities or take any of those decisive measures that would end their solidarity and all their contacts with the bourgeois world forever. This was a great misfortune for the commune and these men. They were paralyzed, and they paralyzed the commune. Yet we cannot blame them. Men are not transformed overnight. They do not change their natures or their habits at will. They prove their sincerity by letting themselves be killed for the commune. Who would dare ask more of them? They are no more to be blamed than the people of Paris, under whose influence they thought and acted. The people were socialists more by instinct than by reflection. All their aspirations are in the highest degree socialist, but their ideas, or rather their traditional expressions, are not. The proletariat of the great cities of France, and even of Paris, still cling to many Jacobin prejudices, and to many dictatorial and governmental concepts. The cult of authority,
I remembered.
the result of religious education, that historic source of all evils, deprivations, and servitude, has not yet been completely eradicated in them. This is so true that even the most intelligent children of the people, the most convinced socialists, have not freed themselves completely of these ideas. If you rummage around a bit in their minds, you will find the Jacobin, the advocate of government, cowering in a dark corner, humble but not quite dead. And two, the small group of convinced socialists who participated in the commune were in a very difficult position. While they felt the lack of support from the great masses of the people of Paris, and while the organization of the International Association, itself imperfect, compromised hardly a few thousand persons, they had to keep up a daily struggle against the Jacobin majority. In the midst of the conflict, they had to feed and provide work for several thousand workers, organize and arm them, and keep a sharp lookout for the doings of the reactionaries. All this in an immense city like Paris, besieged, facing the threat of starvation, and a prey to all the shady intrigues of the reaction, which managed to establish itself in Versailles with the permission and by the grace of the Prussians. They had to set up a revolutionary government and army against the government and army of Versailles. In order to fight the monarchist and clerical reaction, they were compelled to organize themselves in a Jacobin manner, forgetting or sacrificing the first conditions of revolutionary socialism. In this confusing situation, it was natural that the Jacobins, the strongest section, constituting the majority of the commune, who also possessed a highly developed political instinct, the tradition and practice of governmental organization, should have had the upper hand over the socialists. It is a matter of surprise that they did not press their advantage more than they did. That they did not give a fully Jacobin character to the Paris insurrection. That, on the contrary, they let themselves be carried along into a social revolution. I know that many socialists, very logical in their theory, blame our Paris friends for not having acted sufficiently as socialists in the revolutionary practice. The yelping pack of the bourgeois press, on the other hand, accuse them of having followed their program too faithfully. Let us forget, for a moment, the ignoble denunciations of that press. I want to call the attention of the strictest theoreticians of proletarian emancipation to the fact that they are unjust to Paris brothers, for between the most correct theories and their practical application lies an enormous distance which cannot be bridged in a few days. Whoever had the pleasure of knowing Barnum, For instance, to name just one man whose death is certain, knows that he and his friends
Head to
were
head.
guided by profound, passionate, and well-considered socialist convictions. These were men whose ardent zeal, devotion, and good faith had never been questioned by those who had known them. Yet, precisely because they were men of good faith, they were filled with self-distrust in the face of the immense task to which they had devoted their minds and their lives. They thought too little of themselves. And they were convinced that in the social revolution, diametrically opposite to a political revolution it was as in other ways, individual action was to be almost nil, while the spontaneous action of the masses had to be everything. All that individuals can do is formulate, clarify, and propagate
What was
ideas
that?
expressing the instinctive desires of the people, and contribute their constant efforts to the revolutionary organization of the natural powers of the masses. This and nothing more. All the rest can be accomplished only by the people themselves. Otherwise we would end up with a political dictatorship, the reconstitution of the state, with all its privileges, inequalities, and oppressions. By taking a devious but inevitable path we would come to re-establish the political, social, and economic slavery of the masses. Vaughan and all his friends, like all sincere socialists, and generally like all workers born and bred among the people, shared this perfectly legitimate feeling of caution toward the continuous activity of one and the same group of individuals and against the domination exerted by superior personalities. And since they were just and fair-minded men above all else, they turned this foresight, this mistrust, against themselves as much as against other persons. Contrary to the belief of authoritarian communists, which I deem completely wrong, that a social revolution must be decreed and organized either by dictatorship or by a constituent assembly emerging from a political revolution, our friends, the Paris socialists, believe that revolution could neither be made nor brought to its full development except by the spontaneous and continued action of the masses, the groups and the associations of the people. Our Paris friends were right 1,000 times over. In fact, were the mind, brilliant as it may be, or, if we speak of a collective dictatorship, even if it were formed of several hundred individuals endowed with superior mentalities, where are the intellects powerful enough to embrace the infinite multiplicity and diversity of real interests, aspirations, wishes and needs which sum up the collective will of the people? And to invent a social organization that will not be everlasting and that upon which the violence of the state will more or less overtly force a happy society to stretch out? It has always been thus, and it is exactly this old system of organization by force that the social revolution should end by granting full liberty to the masses, the groups, the communes, the associations, and to the individuals as well. By destroying once and for all the historic cause of all violence, which is the power and indeed the mere existence of the state. Its fall will bring down with it all the inequities of the law and all the lies of the various religions, since both law and religion have never been anything but the compulsory consecration, ideal and will, of all violence represented, guaranteed, and protected by the state. It is obvious that liberty will never be given to humanity, and that the real interests of society, of all groups, local associations, and individuals who make up society will never be satisfied until there are no longer any states. It is obvious that all the so-called general interests of society, which the state is supposed to represent and which are in reality just a general and constant negation of the true interests of regions, communes, associations, and individuals subject to the state, are a mere abstraction, a fiction, a lie. The state is like a vast slaughterhouse or an enormous cemetery, where all the real aspirations, all the living forces of a country enter generously and happily, in the shadow of that abstraction, to let themselves be slain and buried. And just as no abstraction exists for and by itself, having no legs to stand on, no arms to create with, no stomach to digest the mass of victims delivered to it, it is likewise clear that the celestial and religious abstraction, God, actually represents the very real interests of a class, the clergy, while its terrestrial complement, that political abstraction, the state, represents the no less real interests of the exploiting class which tends to absorb all the others, the bourgeoisie. As the clergy has always been divisive, and nowadays tends to separate men even further into a very powerful and wealthy minority and a sad and rather wretched majority, so likewise the bourgeoisie, with its various social and political organizations in industry, agriculture, banking, and commerce, as well as in all administrative, financial, judiciary, education, police, and military functions of the state tend increasingly to weld all of these into a really dominant oligarchy on the one hand, and on the other hand into an enormous mass of more or less hopeless creatures, defrauded creatures who live in a perpetual illusion, steadily and inevitably pushed down into the proletariat by the irresistible force of the present economic development, and reduced to serving as blind tools of this all-powerful oligarchy. The abolition of the church and the state should be the first and indispensable condition for the real enfranchisement of society, which hence should reorganize itself not from the top down according to an ideal plan dressed up by wise men or scholars, nor by decrees promulgated by some dictatorial power, or even by a national assembly elected through universal suffrage. Such a system, as I have already said, would inevitably lead to the creation of a new system, consequently, to the formation of a ruling aristocracy, that is, an entire class of persons who have nothing in common with the masses. And, of course, this class would exploit and subject the masses, under the pretext of serving the common welfare or saving the state. The future social organization should be carried out from the bottom up, by the free association or federation of workers, starting with the associations, then going on to the communes, the regions, the nations, and, finally, culminating in a great international and universal federation. It is only then that the true, life-giving social order of liberty and general welfare will come into being, a social order which, far from restricting, will affirm and reconcile the interests of individuals in a society. It is said that the harmony and universal solidarity of individuals with society can never be attained in practice because their interests, being antagonistic, can never be reconciled. To this objection I reply that if these interests have never as yet come to mutual accord, it was because the state has sacrificed the interests of the majority for the benefit of a privileged minority. That is why this famous incompatibility, this conflict of personal interests with those of society, is nothing but a fraud, a political lie, born of the theological lie which invented the doctrine of original sin in order to dishonor man and destroy his self-respect. The same false idea concerning irreconcilable interests was also fostered by the dreams of metaphysics which, as we know, is close kin to theology. Metaphysics, failing to recognize the social character of human nature, looked upon society as a mechanical and purely artificial aggregate of individuals, suddenly brought together in the name of some formal or secret compact concluded freely or under the influence of a superior power. Before uniting in society, these individuals, endowed with some sort of immortal soul, enjoyed complete liberty, according to the metaphysicians. We are convinced that all the wealth of man's intellectual, moral, and material development, as well as his apparent independence, is the product of his life in society. Outside society, not only would he not be a free man, he would not even become genuinely human, even conscious of himself, the only being who thinks and speaks. Only the combination of intelligence and collective labor was able to force man out of that savage and brutish state which constituted his original nature, or rather the starting point for his further development. We are profoundly convinced that the entire life of men, their interests, tendencies, needs, illusions, even stupidities, as well as very bit of violence, injustice, and seemingly voluntary activity, merely represent the result of inevitable societal forces. People cannot reject the idea of mutual independence, nor can they deny the reciprocal influence and uniformity exhibiting the manifestations of external nature. In nature herself, this marvelous correlation and interdependence of phenomena certainly is not produced without struggle. On the contrary, the harmony of the forces of nature appears only as a result of a continual struggle, which is the real condition of life and of movement. In nature, as in society, order without struggle is death. If order is natural and possible in the universe, it is only because the universe is not governed according to some pre-imagined system imposed by supreme love. The theological hypothesis of divine legislation leads to an obvious absurdity, the negation not only of all will but of nature herself. Natural laws are real only in that they are inherent in nature. That is, they are not established by any authority. These laws are but simple manifestations, or rather continuous variations, of the uniformities constituting what we call nature. human intelligence and its science had observed them, have checked them experimentally, assembled them into a system and called them laws. But nature says has no laws. She acts unconsciously. She represents in herself the infinite variety of phenomena which appear and repeat themselves inevitably. This inevitability of action is the reason the universal order can and does exist. Such an order is also apparent in human society, which seems to have evolved in an intellectually and unnatural way but actually is determined by the natural animal's needs and its capacity for thinking that have contributed a special element to its development. A complete natural element, by the way, in the sense that men, like everything that exists, represent the material product of the union and action of natural forces. This special element is reason, the captivity for generalization and abstraction, thanks to which man is able to project himself in his thought, examining and observing himself like a strange, eternal object. By lifting himself in thought above himself, and above the world around him, he reaches the representation of perfect abstraction, the absolute void. And this absolute is nothing less than his capacity for abstraction, which disdains all that exists and finds its repose in attaining complete negation. This is the ultimate limit of the highest abstraction of the mind. This absolute nothingness is God. This is the meaning and the historical foundation of every theological doctrine. As they did not understand the nature and the material causes of their own thinking, and did not even grasp the conditions or natural laws underlying such thinking, these early men and early societies had not the slightest suspicion that their absolute notions were simply the result of their own capacity for formulating abstract ideas. Hence they viewed these ideas, drawn from nature, as real objects, next to which nature herself ceased to amount to anything. They began to worship their fictions, their improbably notions of the absolute, and to honor them. But since they felt the need of giving some concrete form to the abstract idea of nothingness or of God, they created the concept of divinity and, furthermore, endowed it with all the qualities and powers, good and evil, which they found only in nature and in society. Such was the origin and historical development of all religions, from fetishism on down to Christianity. We do not intend to undertake a study of the history of religious, theological, and metaphysical absurdities or to discuss the procession of all the divine incarnations and visions created by centuries of barbarism. We all know that superstition that is after impossible is driving thirsty flow. All these revolving operations of poor mankind were historical, inevitable stages.
Got a call coming in from the Philippines, folks. So we're gonna break off. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you next time. And until then, it's not gonna be then.
That the universe was governed by supernatural power.